How to win people's respect, even if you don't say a word. What if I told you that the most respected person in the room often says the least? Think about it. Two people walk into the same room. One talks confidently, explains everything, tries to impress. The other stays quiet, calm, still, and somehow, everyone listens to the second one. No raised voice. No clever words. No effort to prove anything. So why does this happen? Psychologists have discovered something unsettling about respect. Your brain decides who deserves authority before a single word is spoken. In fact, the harder someone tries to earn respect, the more invisible they often become. That awkward silence you're afraid of. Your brain interprets it very differently. You see, humans are constantly scanning for signals. Who is confident? Who is secure? Who needs approval? And the most powerful signal of all isn't intelligence. It isn't confidence. It isn't even a success. It's emotional control. People who don't rush to fill silence. People who don't explain themselves. People who don't react when challenged. Your mind sees them as higher status even if you don't consciously realize it. This is why some people get interrupted, while others get waited for. Why do some voices fade into the background, while others silence the room without effort? And here's the uncomfortable truth. Most people lose respect not because they're weak, but because they unknowingly signal insecurity through words, posture, and reactions. The good news? Respect isn't something you beg for. It's something you broadcast silently. By the end of this video, you'll understand the hidden psychological rules that decide respect, why silence can be louder than speech, and how to command attention without saying a single word. Stay with me, because once you see this, you'll never walk into a room the same way again. Respect shapes almost every part of our lives. It decides who gets listened to at work, who gets taken seriously in relationships, who gets ignored, and who gets remembered. Yet most people are taught the wrong lesson about respect. They believe respect comes from talking confidently, from proving intelligence, from explaining themselves clearly, from being loud enough to be noticed. So they talk more, they justify more, they defend more. And strangely, the harder they try, the less respect they receive. You've probably felt this without realizing it. You explain your point carefully, yet people interrupt you. You speak up in meetings, yet your ideas get brushed aside. You try to appear confident, yet something feels off. Meanwhile, someone else says very little. They don't rush to respond. They don't react emotionally, and somehow the room adjusts to them. This isn't luck. And it isn't personality, it's psychology. Human brains are constantly making fast, silent judgments. Who is secure? Who is in control? Who needs approval? These judgments happen before logic, before words, before reason. And here's the uncomfortable truth. The moment you seek respect, your brain signals that you don't already have it. Respect isn't negotiated through words. It's perceived through behavior, through posture, through stillness, through emotional control. This is why some people gain authority without effort and others lose it without knowing why. In this video, we're going to uncover the hidden psychological rules that decide respect. Not social tricks, not manipulation, but deep patterns built into the human mind. You'll learn why silence can be more powerful than speech, why calmness is mistaken for confidence, and why explaining yourself often works against you. By the end, you won't need to chase respect anymore. You'll understand how it's formed, how it's lost, and how to let people give it to you without you saying a single word, because real respect isn't demanded. It's felt. Think about the last time you walked into a room full of people. Before you said anything, something already happened. Eyes scanned you, posture was noticed, energy was felt. No one announced it, no one admitted it, but judgments were made. Some people entered that room and immediately blended into the background. They sat quietly, but not powerfully. They spoke, but not confidently. Their words seemed to dissolve the moment they left their mouths. Others entered the same room and shifted the atmosphere. They didn't rush. They didn't fill the silence. They didn't try to impress, and somehow people waited for them. This difference isn't about intelligence. It's not about status or experience, and it's not about being extroverted or introverted. It's about signals. Human beings constantly read invisible signals to decide who deserves attention and respect. We do it automatically, instinctively, without realizing it. And most people unknowingly send the wrong ones. They speak quickly to avoid silence. They explain too much to avoid being misunderstood. They react emotionally to avoid appearing weak. But every one of these behaviors sends a subtle message to the brain watching them. I need approval. I need to be understood. I need reassurance. And the human brain is ruthless in how it interprets these signals. When someone needs approval, the brain lowers their status. When someone over-explains, the brain assumes uncertainty. When someone reacts emotionally, the brain senses lack of control. This is why people interrupt you. Why do your opinions get questioned? Why does your presence don't carry weight, no matter how capable you are? Yet there are others who do the opposite. They pause before speaking. They let silence exist. They don't defend themselves when challenged. And instead of losing respect, they gain it. But here's the mystery. Why does silence feel powerful? Why does emotional restraint look like confidence? Why does saying less often make people listen more? At this point in the story, it feels almost unfair, because nobody teaches you this. No one warns you that trying harder can actually make you weaker in the eyes of others. And the biggest question remains unanswered. What is the psychological mechanism that makes quiet presence more respected than loud effort? That's where the tension begins. And in the next part, we uncover the conflict inside the human mind that decides who rises and who gets ignored. At some point, the story takes a darker turn. Because once you become aware that people are constantly judging you, a natural instinct kicks in. You start trying to control the outcome. You adjust your tone, you choose your words carefully, you rehearse what you'll say before you say it, and ironically, this is where respect begins to disappear. Psychology has a name for this invisible trap: status anxiety. When the human brain senses uncertainty in someone else, it automatically lowers their perceived authority. Not because people are cruel, but because the brain is designed to follow signals of stability. There is a famous psychological experiment where participants were asked to rank leadership potential based solely on silent video clips, no audio. The results were shocking. Those who appeared calm, slow-moving, and emotionally regulated were consistently rated as more competent and more powerful than those who showed urgency or expressiveness. The brain doesn't trust speed. It trusts control. And this creates a painful inner conflict. Because socially, we're taught to speak up, explain ourselves, and prove our worth. But psychologically, those behaviors often communicate the opposite. Think about the moments you felt disrespected. You were interrupted. Your point was dismissed. Your presence was overlooked. What did you do next? You likely tried harder. You spoke louder. You justified your opinion. You showed emotion to make people understand you. And every attempt unknowingly reinforced the very signal that caused the disrespect in the first place. This is the turning point. Because respect is not given to those who ask for it. It's given to those who don't appear to need it. The human mind associates emotional independence with authority. When someone remains composed under pressure, the brain reads it as strength. When someone doesn't rush to fill silence, the brain assumes they have value. This creates tension inside us. If we don't react, will people think we don't care? If we don't explain, will we be misunderstood? If we stay quiet, will we disappear? So we fight the silence? We fight the discomfort. We fight the urge to let things be. And in doing so, we sabotage ourselves. Because the truth is uncomfortable. Respect isn't about what you say. It's about what your nervous system communicates before words ever appear. And that realization changes everything. Because if respect is rooted in emotional control, then the real battle isn't external. It's internal. And in the next part, we reach the climax where the deepest truth about human respect is finally revealed. The breakthrough comes when you realize something most people never do. Respect is not something you earn at the moment. It's something your presence signals automatically. And the signal people respond to isn't confidence. It's self-regulation. The human brain is constantly scanning for one question: who here is grounded enough to lead? Not who talks the most, not who explains the most, but who appears unmoved by the need for approval. This is where the illusion shatters. The people you've always thought were naturally respected aren't trying to dominate the room. They aren't performing with confidence. They aren't winning arguments. They are simply not leaking emotional energy. Their posture is relaxed, not stiff. Their movements are slow, not rushed. Their expressions are neutral, not reactive. This isn't accidental. Neuroscience shows that humans subconsciously mirror the nervous system of the most regulated person in the room. When someone remains calm while others are tense, the brain assigns them higher status. Why? Because calm under pressure once meant survival. In early human groups, the person who didn't panic during danger was the one people followed. That wiring never left us. This is the shocking truth. People don't respect power. They respect emotional safety. And emotional safety comes from someone who doesn't chase reactions. Think about silence. When you stop rushing to speak, silence becomes uncomfortable for them. When you stop defending yourself, judgment loses its grip. When you stop explaining, curiosity replaces doubt. The moment you no longer need to prove yourself, people begin proving themselves to you. This is the psychological reversal. Respect flows toward the person who looks internally complete, not arrogant, not distant, just centered. You don't win respect by acting bigger, you win it by acting settled. And once you see this, you can never unsee it. Every room suddenly feels different, every interaction shifts. Every silence becomes powerful, because the highest status move isn't dominance, it's composure. And the most respected people in the world didn't speak less by accident. They spoke less because they didn't need to speak at all. That is the climax. That is the truth. And once you embody it, respect stops being something you chase. It becomes something people give without knowing why. Once you understand this, something quietly changes. You stop trying to control how people see you. And in that release, you become someone others naturally orient toward. This truth reveals something uncomfortable about human nature. We don't respond to words first. We respond to the state. Your nervous system speaks before your mouth ever does. When you walk into a room grounded, unhurried, emotionally contained, people feel it. They don't consciously analyze it. They sense it. And that sensation tells them you are safe, stable, and self-sufficient. That's why respect feels effortless around some people, not because they're superior, but because they're not seeking anything from you. And when you no longer seek validation, approval loses its power over you. This insight changes everyday life in subtle ways. You listen more, you interrupt less. You stop explaining your decisions, you let silence do the work. And strangely, people lean in. They value your presence more because it isn't desperate to be noticed. They trust you more because you aren't emotionally reactive. They respect you more because you respect yourself enough to remain calm. This is the real aftermath. Respect becomes a byproduct, not a goal. You're no longer confident. You're embodying alignment, and this doesn't just affect social situations. It changes how you handle conflict, how you respond to disrespect, how you treat yourself when no one is watching. You realize that dignity isn't loud. Strength isn't aggressive. Authority isn't forced. It's quiet, steady, unshakable. And when you carry yourself this way, people don't ask who you are. They already know. Because the most powerful signal a human can send is not dominance. It's inner peace. And once you live from that place, respect stops being something you demand. It becomes something the world reflects back to you. And here's the quiet truth most people never hear. Respect doesn't come from being louder or smarter or more impressive. It comes from who you are when no one is watching, from how you hold yourself in silence, from how you respond when you could react but choose not to, from the calm that stays with you even when the room feels tense. The world notices that. Not immediately, not loudly, but deeply. And once you understand this, you stop chasing respect altogether, you stop proving, you stop performing, you simply become. That's when something strange happens. People start listening before you speak. They value your presence without explanation. They treat you differently, not because you demanded it, but because your energy quietly asked for it. This is the psychology no one teaches. If this video revealed something you felt but couldn't explain, stay with this channel. Because the mind hides many secrets about power, attraction, fear, and control. And in the next video, we'll uncover what your brain secretly does when you feel ignored, and why it hurts more than rejection. Until then, remember this: the strongest voice you will ever have is the one that doesn't need to speak. And once you master that silence, the world responds.